Welcome to footballgameplan.com, where football makes sense. That's Emery Hunt, the Zarda Playbook, and I'm Tyler Merkovich. We're bringing you our 2010 season preview for the Green Bay Packers, coming off a great year at 11-5. Don Capers really turned around the defense with that 3-4 system, but Aaron Rodgers really got that offense going. Let's start with him. Mike McCarthy loves to throw the ball with his receivers, but running back Ryan Grant, underrated, 11 touchdowns last year, steady but unspectacular. Brandon Jackson, he's been okay. I thought he'd break out for a while now, but he's a decent third down back. So let's talk about Aaron Rodgers and his claim to fame over here.
Aaron Rodgers is an elite quarterback in this league. He throws one of the more prettiest spirals I've ever seen, and he throws downfield. I love his deep ball accuracy, as well as the fact that he provides touch on the football. So he's elite. Matt Flynn is a guy that's going to be a solid backup. He's going to look good in the preseason, so that gives him insurance if Rodgers was to go down. But Rodgers proves he's healthy. He's shaking the injury bug, so they have an elite quarterback in Green Bay. Running back situation, Ryan Grant is, he's dependable, he's capable, but he doesn't provide that spectacular factor. But he's good at what he does. I like the fact they drafted James Starks out of Buffalo, a guy that's a Ryan Grant clone, but with a little bit more fluidness and a little bit more wiggle, and can also catch the football out of the backfield. So be impressed to see.
And I would be impressed to see him really down just because he was injured.
Yeah, because he sat out the whole season. So get him in. Brandon Jackson, guy that's excellent on third down, but he needs to step up big. But look out for Starks this year.
If this passing attack stays up and that 14th rushing offense improves from 117.8 yards per game up, this offense could go sky high. And Rodgers is a perfect fit for Lambeau Field with that weather. He throws the ball nice as anybody. He's got one of the strongest arms. Wide receiver, unbelievable strength. This is probably the best core in the NFC. It's Jordy Nelson and James Jones. They back up spectacular guys like Greg Jennings and Donald Driver. Seems never to get old. For Jermichael Finley out of Texas in his second year, blew up last year. This guy is for real. He's like the next Keith Jackson. Donald Lee, on the wrong side of his career, will back him up. So let's talk about Rodgers' weapons.
They have the best wide receiving core in the division, hands down. These guys all can get deep. They're all similar in build. They all catch the football with their hands, and they also can run after the catch, which is the key in the West Coast offense that they run in Green Bay. Also keep an eye on rookie tight end Andrew Corliss out of Penn State, guy that dropped in the draft because he had some off-the-field issues. But this guy is an athletic freakish athlete, 6'4", 250. The guy that's going to make a lot of plays. They may even cut down Lee for Corliss. I think he's going to be fine.
Well, they really need. Well, first of all, Rodgers needs to get rid of the ball, but that offensive line really had trouble protecting him. 51 sacks allowed. That was first in the NFL. And Chad Clifton comes back from injury. Of course, they draft Brian Bulaga, first round out of Iowa, which a lot of questions because they thought they needed an edge rusher with Campman out and the depth not certainly there on the defensive side of the ball. But they go with Bulaga. Jason Smith, the left guard, will battle Darren College. Those are two good guys who can play on the offensive line, anywhere from guard to center. Scott Wells stepped up at center last year. Josh Sinton at one right guard, and Mark Tauscher, of course, a Wisconsin lineman, really molded that line together and helped keep together for them to make that playoff run.
Yeah, Josh Sinton is a guy that was the best offensive lineman for the Packers last year. So he's going to be impressive even more so this season, second year starting. So he was impressive last year. Clifton has to stay healthy. Clifton is solid when he's in, but how long can Clifton stay there? That's why they drafted Bulaga. And so look for Bulaga to come along slowly and probably end up starting before the season over. But you have depth with Bulaga. And I also like the fact that you want to keep an eye on Evan Dietrich Smith, a guy that can play guard or center. He's going to be outstanding. He pretty much was underrated last year, so that's going to be fine. And also Clifton's health. I just can't get past Clifton's health. He has to.
That's why they got Bulaga, and I think Bulaga's perfect. Iowa boy. Now he just goes not too far down to Green Bay. Perfect fit there. I think he's on the rise. A couple years down the line, he could be the next Joe Thomas, Jake Long, maybe. I mean, maybe I'm getting a little ahead of myself, but I think he's in that mold. Defensive side of the ball, 3-4 really helped them out last year. Johnny Jolly was spectacular. Cullen Jenkins at time. They draft Mike Neal out of Purdue maybe to play in that end position. He was a tackle in college. And of course, Ryan Pickett played nose tackle, even though he never did before. He played well. BJ Raji, first round pick out of Boston College last year, needs to step up now. It's his second year. No more excuses. He needs to stay healthy. really get in as that nose tackle position. Let's talk, and let's go to linebacker. Brad Jones really stepped in this. This is why Campman's gone. Clay Matthews, of course, rookie last year, made the Pro Bowl, and A.J. Hawk and Nick Barnett are solid in the middle, and they got backups in like Desmond Bishop, Brandon Chillar, so they got weapons at the linebacker position.
Well, they have to fill the void left by Aaron Campman at the outside linebacker spot. That's the question mark in that defense, but keep an eye on undrafted rookie free agent Tim Nickey out of Stephen F. Austin, the guy that's 6'4", 250, can really bring it, was a terror off the end for the Lumberjacks in college. So he's going to be a sneaky athlete, a guy that's going to come in, provide that pass rush that they needed in the outside linebacker
C.J. Wilson,
spot.
They drafted out of East Carolina.
Yeah,
He fell to the 7th round.
Yeah, I was getting to him. Talk about the D-line, since you brought up linebackers. A.J. Hawk is average at best, not a guy you want at the 5th pick of the draft, but he's solid, but he's average. Second-year defensive player Brad Jones did do well in the absence of Campman last season when he was injured, so he's going to compete.
Is he the long-term fit, you think?
Nah, it depends. I like Tim Nickey as opposed to Jones, but hopefully Desmond Bishop can get a shot in the regular season because he's outstanding in the preseason. So that's a guy you want to keep it. Packer fans already know about him, and on the defensive line, I look at the question mark: is B.J. Raji healthy? He has to be healthy. Brian Pickett is outstanding at nose tackle, and I love both the rookies, Mike Neal out of Purdue and C.J. Wilson out of East Carolina. So the D-line all depends on whether or not Raji is healthy.
Well, that front seven helped for the #1 rush defense in the NFL, under 84 yards per game. They held opponents, and interceptions #1 at 30. Of course, Charles Woodson, your boy, my boy before he was in the NFL, your boy now, I think he's going to make the Hall of Fame. But Al Harris was injured last year. Tramon Williams stepped up, but still he was not all the way there. Will Blackman is okay. So those are 4 cornerbacks they could go with. Safety Nick Collins, underrated, 2 Pro Bowls already. They draft Morgan Burnett to push Atari Bigby at the strong safety position. So when it comes to secondary, they have a lot of interceptions and the 5th pass defense in the league.
Yeah, the 5th pass defense, but they need some depth at the cornerback spot. That's why I like second-year cornerback Brandon Underwood, a guy that played exceptionally well last season. He's going to do fine this year as well. They need to get younger behind those guys, Woodson and Harris. But also injuries just killed the unit last season. Don't even question whether Morgan Burnett is going to come in and push Atari Bigby. He's going to start over Bigby. Bigby isn't healthy enough to even warrant starting again. Whatever he can give you, that's fine, but he has to maintain his health. But Nick Collins is awesome safety, Pro Bowl, a guy that's all pro. So I like their secondary, but the depth I have a question. With Will Blackman, if he can return from injury, provides another solid cornerback for the Packers.
Dom Capers led the #2 defense in the league last year, total defense that is, and he has young players to do it this year. It's going to be interesting to see them on defense because they have a lot of talent on both sides of the ball. And special teams is Chad Morton and Payson Crosby, a very good kicker. Chris Bryan, they pick up for a punter. And of course, Will Blackman can be their punt returner, kick returner Jordy Nelson. They had some trouble in the kick return game, but when it comes to kicking the rock, Mason Crosby, I think, is one of the best.
Yeah, the kicking game is solid. If Blackman isn't 100%, then you have to question their return use. But I think the kicking game is going to be solid for the Packers.
Their return game a little shaky. They might be able to find somebody better than Nelson or Blackman. We'll see. But Green Bay, offensively and defensively, loaded.
Yeah, this is one of the teams that I think can push the Vikings for the division title. Green Bay is explosive on offense. They just slipped up in the playoffs last season. Defense failed them late, but I think the defense now is going to be more aggressive in year 2 of Don Capers' scheme just for the Packers to get back into the playoffs.
It would be crazy if they stay on top on defense. For more, visit footballgameplan.com/NFL or check out our YouTube channel at youtube.com/footballgameplan.